Hello, I'm Denise, and I have your readings all ready, but I wanted to give you a heads up and let you know that you may want to check out the other readings that would cover your moon and your ascendant, as well as your sun. That way you have a bigger perspective over the opportunities coming your way for the month. Okay, let's get started. Okay, this week is for March 29th through April 4th, and this is devoted to Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant, and the opportunities most likely to be offered to you as your life experience. So for this first week, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot right here by Chris Ann. And the first week is, we have three major arcanas, the Strength, Empress, and the Lovers. Now the Empress is definitely the Taurus card. It's ruled by Venus, which Taurus is ruled by. And so the theme, the middle card will be the theme for the week. The first two cards will be the beginning of the week, and of course this will be the middle of the week as well. And then the last two cards will bring us through the end of the week. So in the beginning, well, actually, let's go back to the theme. The theme for the week is nurturing your creativity and abundance. Being really, really grateful for all that you have and knowing that there's more. Let me see if I can move this out of the way so you can see the moon up here. See the moon with the glowing orbs around it, and they come down. Let's see. You can see here how they come down and then into her belly. So it's like being pregnant. The energy and consciousness of the Empress is about being pregnant with any new creative thing that you would like to bring into your life. And it can be, actual physical, pregnancy with a baby or babies. But for the most part, because it can relate to any gender, any creative self-expression. It's not particular to just the feminine, but it is a very nurturing card, and it is a very divine feminine. It is of the divine feminine, and it's one of the most abundant cards in the entire deck. So it's very connected to nature. This may be a week where you're honoring your own body, taking really good care of your body. If you can, have a massage. It's all about everything to do with the physical body, nurturing through food, through pleasure. It's all about positive pleasure. And with the beginning of the week starting out with the Strength, it's just such a beautiful, it looks like a really, really good week for, to start off the month. So towards the very end of March and the beginning of April, we're coming into a place where we can be relaxed and into deeply in touch with our own gentle heart. The Strength card for me has to do with, the way I read it is that we have inner strength in all the places that we are fully conscious of whatever we were unconscious of. So it's through the process of working on our unconscious, you could call it shadow work, you could call it personal process work, where you dive down and dig out your false beliefs and question them from many different angles, and then go through the pain that they've caused, because false beliefs always do keep us in our vicious circles. It's where we're stuck in dualistic either-or mentality. And when we can accept that life is pain and pleasure, good and bad, right and wrong, that we can win and lose, and there's life and death, although we never really die. It's just a change in form. But all of those inner dualities can be reconciled within. And I see the Strength card, in her full strength, for male or female. It's usually a feminine card, but don't really have gender-specific roles to any of the cards. So what I will say is that when that inner strength does come through in its fullness, when the unconscious material has been worked with and processed through. So that's a really wonderful card to start the week, and to finish up the end of March with. And then moving into the Two of Pentacles, that card is more about, juggling things, keeping a couple balls in the air, and can we really do that? We have a lot going on. It can be work projects that come in, because Pentacles always relate to the physical realm. So it can be work projects that come in and opportunities, and you're not sure whether to take on more, and you're maybe having trouble handling exactly, the way you'd like everything you already have on your plate. And, it's like, how long can you keep everything spinning like that? So it's a little bit of a warning that you don't have to take every opportunity that comes along. Just focus on what's best for you, what keeps you in your full, abundant, state of being, what keeps you connected deep down inside to your inner being, because that's both what the Strength and the Empress are all about. And sometimes the Two of Pentacles have to do with negotiations. Things, especially, contracts in the physical realm. But it could just be two people talking and working things out, trying to decide, what you want. What do you want to bring in? What do you want to create? And then, of course, that's what the Empress is all about. So that's the theme of the week, and that may hit midweek. But it's definitely something that will be influencing the entire week. And then towards the end of the week, we have the Lover's card. So with the Lover's card, it's not always about, a personal, intimate, loving relationship, although it very well may be. It's at the very, I don't want to say least, because it's not least, but another way of looking at the Lover's card is a decision will come into your consciousness as maybe a need to make a decision. It's about choosing to balance your head and your heart together, your consciousness and the energy in your body. It's about not just impulsively going for something because it feels good in the moment, but it's about really weighing all the options, really tuning into, is this the right way for me to go? Or do I need to, negotiate a bit? Or do I need to think it through and talk things out? This can be the card, card that relates to contracts, actual, real physical, committed contracts. So that's a real possibility, especially when we have the King of Wands here, finishing off the week, or both of these are finishing off the week and bringing us into the end of the first week in April, which is all about, it's an entrepreneurial type of spirit. It's about something new, something passionate and creative, or something that somebody's already worked on and they've gotten it to a certain level and now they're ready to bring it into a group type of experience, or more of on a bigger scale. So that's really wonderful. It has to do with taking responsibility for a bigger plan, bigger picture, and but also being careful with the Lovers here. You always want to be careful to listen to other people's opinions. It can't be my way or the highway. We have to be careful with. Sometimes there can be a little arrogance, or there can be I know the best, or I'm the leader. It's definitely leadership energy. That's the territory we're in with the King of Wands. So when it comes to personal relationships or business contracts, you want to, be sure that you really know what you're getting into and that it's best for all parties. And if not, then something better will come along for you. Or maybe it would be something that you're involved with for a time being, but it's not a complete commitment. Because that's, the creative, change spirit is here for the entire week. So, but it's just such a wonderful, to have strength and the King of Wands together here, and the lovers mixed in with that, and the negotiations and the creative, benign circle of love, that nurtures the entire existence that we live in. It's always present there in our lives. We just have to tap into it. It's always within us. So, okay, hold on. I'll be right back with the second week. Okay, for the second week of April, we are going from the 5th through the 11th. And we're starting off the week with the Eight of Cups. So there's something that you guys may be walking away from that is no longer working. You've tried, you've given it your best. I mean, in this rendition, it looks like there's a betrayal, and there's nothing more that this woman can do except walk away. But traditionally, it doesn't have to be about a broken heart, although it very well may be, because it's, the cups, and they definitely rule the heart and emotions and our feeling bodies. So it's not always about relationship. It's sometimes just walking away from a situation that doesn't work. But it may be something that you did put your heart and soul into, and you just cannot do anymore. So that's at the beginning of the week, but it looks like it's moving towards working on something completely new. Or I'm sorry, not completely new, but something, reworking something anew. Because if you're walking away from something that didn't work, you're going to focus on what did work or what is working. And then you're going to put your all into that. So this really doesn't need to be any situation full of grief at all. It just is one of those places where we've given it our all and it's not working, so we move on and we work on what does work. And then for the theme of the week, and for, which may actually come through right into the middle of the week, is the Sun card. And that is a card that brings in happiness, of course. Just look at that overwhelming light and happiness and fun. In some other decks, there are children involved. So it's a very, playful card. It's definitely a card of success. It's the highest energy card in the tarot. So for that to overplay through the rest of the week is just wonderful. So I would say the best thing that we could do for this week with this energy and consciousness here is to focus on what you love and be willing to shine your light and show people who you really are. And let go of things that, whatever doesn't work, let go of. And whatever is working, work harder on, okay? And then when it comes to, moving through into the end of the week, you'll have your sense of self, your sense of, your inner core, your divine light within, your core light, whatever you would like to call it, your divine intelligence. And that will carry you through maybe some places where you're going to debate. These guys are arm wrestling and it's all, kind of fun and games. But this can be the energy of, it very well can be games and people that invent games and it can be sports as well. But at the least, it's working kind of, can be a struggle, right? So I always want to work on, in my life, I just struggle to keep my heart open, and I try to let go of all the other, struggle. If you can come from a balanced place where you're not forcing anything, and you can be patient, then you don't have to get into all the battles that would, just naturally create chaos in your life. You don't have to get into arguments, and you don't have to get into these winner versus loser type of situations. You can focus on win-win situations. And so I think that the guidance for the rest of the week is just that you'll have opportunities to get involved in some struggles or not, and you will most likely, or you'll definitely have the opportunity, but you most likely will go for the peaceful waters. Go for the peaceful, calm waters over here. See the water is moving and flowing smoothly. And then over here, we're moving away from the choppy flow that we've been involved in. So this end of the week is more of the energy of, with the Six of Swords, it's about transitions and moving from challenges. This is definitely the card of challenges. So moving away from challenges into the calm, peaceful flow that you can create in your life. So that looks wonderful, but boy, I certainly would hold on to that Sun card to guide you for the week. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, for the third week of the month, this will go from the 12th to the 18th of April. And this is a really wonderful week, it looks to be. It starts off the week with success. With the Six of Wands here, we have the success of accomplishment. I think in the last week, or definitely in the last week, the second to the last card was the Five of Wands, which had to do with, the struggle and maybe the debate and the little bit of, sportsmanship or, working things out, sometimes the hard way. So obviously it worked out well, and this week you can celebrate. You can shine in the light, you can bask in the glow. You're definitely, you've overcome something and it's working out well, and you're receiving the recognition that you deserve. That's been a long time coming usually. And then moving into towards the middle of the week, but definitely, like I'm thinking like this is maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something like that. Or this could be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, it's hard to say, which day they'll play out. And that's why sometimes I like to just look at things as a theme, look at the overall theme of the week. And so the victory has happened, the success has happened. You've received the honors that you deserve, the recognition, and so now you're moving on to more calm water. Now, for some people, this will be, traveling, taking it on the road, like whatever. I mean, like let's imagine, like with this person, she's on a stage and there's, she's singing, and then she, has to tour. I mean, it can literally be something that simple. That's really fun and brings you more abundance, and and everywhere you go on your travels, you're planting more seeds, and you just keep putting it out there and keep working at it. This looks like a wonderful, wonderful week for moving towards what you really want and moving away from what you don't want, holding on to your victories and your successes and your accomplishments and patting yourself on the back every chance you get, and just, use that momentum and the motivation of the experience of accomplishing something to carry you through, and planting more seeds. With the Ace of Pentacles here, it's all about planting seeds of abundance and using the material world to help you experience what it is that you actually want to experience. And then with the Page of Wands, that's the energy of enthusiasm and more motivation and just putting it out there. I mean, literally just going for it and having lots of fun, and knowing that the more you go for what you really love and what you're really passionate about, like what gives you the energy to do it, right? If you can just keep tapping into that energy, you'll find that that's your life's work, and that you'll work really hard on it, and you'll love doing it, so you'll keep doing it. And those are the things that turn into our true vocation, because we literally can't stop doing it. When people ask me, like, what's best to, focus on to make a living, I always ask them, well, what would you do if there were no such thing as money, but or money was never, not an issue at all? what is it that you just couldn't stop yourself from doing? Like, what could you, not not do? Like, what is that thing or those things that you would just love to do no matter what? And that's where to put your passion and your energy. And it can be several things. And you can always reinvent yourself. I mean, that's a normal process for many creative types, is to keep changing the way they express themselves. So, because it's all, about developing and, keep going for the passion, keep working on your craft. The Eight of Pentacles is also the apprenticeship card. So it can be, being mentored by someone who is, really at the top of their field, and you work under them. It's the card of internships and apprenticeships and auditing a class again that you've already taken. But again, back to the victory, and you can just, keep on keeping on type of energy, I think, is what this week is all about. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, this will cover April 19th through the 25th, so the 4th week in April. It's a long month, it's almost 5 whole weeks. So there'll be 1 week after this as well. So for this 4th week, it is the theme of moving forward, being careful about being too forceful. Is definitely, the card of divine will here. But the challenge is to always come from your inner will rather than your outer will, because your outer will usually get you into unhealthy ego territory. So, that's just something to keep in mind. It's to move forward in a centered way and not rushing. It's kind of like this is literally the travel card, driving. So if this is your vehicle that you're driving in, you don't want to dart in and out of traffic. You don't want to cause an accident. You don't want to get into an accident. You don't want to hurt someone else. You want to get there safely. So it's about remaining calm and centered in your travels and in your movements in life in general. So, but we're going to start out the week looking at the Knight of Cups here. Now, he's the guy that comes up for me when I'm, either there's a rescuing type of a situation where I'm, maybe they should or shouldn't be there, in the situation, but there's a lot of emotional energy and passion to be there. So, they're wonderful people, whether it's male or female. They're wonderful people to, share your heart with. But we're in the realm of dependencies and codependencies, so that's something to be careful about, especially because it's followed by the Four of Pentacles, which has to do with healthy boundaries. So it's one of those situations where you have to, in order to spiritually grow through these situations, you have to be careful of your needing to be needed or your giving to get. Those types of situations that people unconsciously are involved in, and until you catch yourself and realize. I mean, I don't believe there's ever any judgment. We're just learning. And so the lesson is that, you don't have to give yourself away in order to be loved. And you don't have to manipulate someone to do things for you and make them feel like, you really need them to take care of you. You don't have to do that in order to move forward in life. So I believe this week the opportunities are to hold on to your healthy boundaries. Be careful about your money as well, because the pentacles definitely have to do, they're like the coins in the tarot. So it has to do with all your resources, actually, but especially money. And, of course you don't want to be in that hoarding type of energy, but because of the other cards I see here, I'm going to say I want to nail it down more into the realm of healthy boundaries, okay? If it were, a different situation and there were different cards around it, I might have a a different take on it, but not for this particular spread. Okay, and then moving towards the end of the week, there's something that's just going to be over. Something, and it may or may not be painful. It can be painful if you're not ready to let go of it, and it can be painful if it's a, betrayal, like an outright betrayal, like you didn't realize someone was working behind your back, not in your best interest. But I'm not seeing those types of cards around it. I'm seeing it as, in order to move forward, you're going to have to let go of just what is over, what is done. And, the freedom in this card is that you're at a place where it's done and there's nothing more I can do. I've done my best. Or these were decisions that had nothing to do with me and weren't made with, with my best interests in mind, even though maybe it seemed like that's what was being put out there. But if you hold on to your healthy boundaries, move forward from your center, and let go of what isn't working, then you can start completely over and create, within reason, anything you want. Anything you want. I mean, look at this. Check this card out. It is beautiful. Look at that. The universe is at your command. It is bound by law to receive you. Literally. So make sure you're clear about what you're putting out there and what you want, and move forward from that. Move forward from that clarity, from that clear place inside of you. That's we have the infinity symbol here, up here, right there, on the top of the head, which helps you open your mind and get out of a box, get out of limited thinking, and just to know that as above so below, you can bring it down into the life experience, and it can grow and grow and grow. I love the Magician. It's really a wonderful card. So okay, hold on, I'll be right back with the next week. Okay, this week we'll cover the 26th all the way through the end of the month and into May 2nd, possibly. But it's the very last week of April. And the star card is the theme. The star is all about focusing on your dreams and your goals, knowing that you can bring them down to earth, knowing that in the spiritual realms, in the purest spiritual realms, everything that you're trying to create is already there in the spirit world for you. You're just in the process of bringing it down, through your body and giving birth to it. It has to do with faith in the creative process, faith in that you are a co-creator with, with the universe. And again, like I said in last week's reading, that the universe is bound to receive you. So I'll probably talk a little bit more about that, but I'm drawn to looking at these two cards together. Now, don't be alarmed at all by the death card. That it's really just a card of change. Every time I've ever moved house or made any big changes in my life, I always get that card, and I haven't died. had to let some things go that I really loved about the last place, but it's been better and better. I had to when you're moving, it's challenging. But anyway, so the beginning of the week, we have the Six of Pentacles, and that is all about giving and receiving, and knowing that deep down there's really no difference between the two, that when we're giving, we are also receiving. And you might even want to do a meditation on giving, receiving, just lots of deep breathing and feeling into both of those words and saying both of those words one after the other until you really get that deeply inside of you, that that reciprocity, that exchange of energy and consciousness with with other people and in the because this is the Pentacles, so we're talking, the material realm. So in the earthly realm, everything that we put out, we also will at some point receive back. Of course, you don't want to be giving just to get. That's not really the best way to function. It's not the honest way to move through life. But there will be some relationships or some situations where you will let go because there is no reciprocity. Not that you were giving to get, but because your energy going there would just go into a vortex of nothing. It's not going anywhere anymore. It's not. So it'll be fine-tuning, right? So you're focusing on what you want to create, and you're giving your best. And life will, bring you the best right back. But then it's always that process of, coming into the new expression, so the rebirth and the, knowing that nothing ever really dies. It changes form. So there will be changes in the form of your giving and receiving. Which I think is actually really beautiful, because then, we come into the Two of Pentacles, where there can be some negotiations towards the end of the week, or it can be that there's a lot of new work and you're trying to balance, all the things that are coming through. And then with the Eight of Swords, towards the end of the week and going into the weekend, you might have opportunities where you can see where you're restricting yourself. See where you've been censoring yourself. See where you've been stuck in a place where, and now it's just purely mental, it's not real, you can change it. But a place where maybe you're not speaking up for yourself, maybe where you're not seeing yourself truly. She has the blindfold on here, and the gal here, she's looking up rather than looking in, in towards the, the center, into the mirror of who she is. And, because life will always mirror back to us whatever we need to work on, it's really important that we always go within and we don't look to others to give us what we think we need, as far as, let's say, approval, It's always a good question to ask yourself, what do I think I need to do in order to be loved? What do I think I need to do, or who do I think I need to be in order to be approved of? And those are, the answers will usually be a false belief until you get into the core of who you are, and then you realize, I'm just me, and I deserve to be loved. I don't need anyone's approval. I just deserve to be loved for who I am, and every step of the way of who I am, because we change and evolve and grow. So this card is always about going inside, reflecting back inside into your own essence, your own unique spirit, your own, unique inner path that you're on, and then you can just let the binds go. You can let all the swirling thoughts and the ridiculous, false beliefs. You can just let it all go, and you can walk away. You can come into a whole new experience of yourself. So that'll be something that will probably carry on into the weekend of that first weekend in May. And then we'll look next month, and I look forward to the readings then. I will always upload the readings the last week of the month, so that they're fresh. For starting the next month. And I'd love it if you subscribed, and if you liked the videos, I would love it if you like them. Hit the little like button. Okay, thanks. See you next time. Bye.